Overnight failure is not a strategy when it comes to failing on YouTube and being unfamous. It takes work, hard work. Now, luckily for you, I've come up with 10 tips and tricks to help you shrink your influence and make sure you do not grow on YouTube. Hey, I'm Kay from Unfamous Academy, and today I'm going to share with you 10 tips and tricks to make sure you shrink your influence and do not grow on YouTube. Now, the weird thing is that I've seen that many people, they actually take my advices and they apply the opposite. I don't understand why. But I know that you're not like that, so let's get started. 1. Forget about branding. Just pick up the most unbranded name, like, I don't know, Smurderberg 95 or whatever, something that people cannot pronounce, that they cannot read, make those funny characters with the capitals and then the small letter. Make sure that people can't actually remember that name. That's my first tip. If you do that, just imagine two people in a conversation, and let's say that someone wanted to mention your channel. They'd be like, hey, I was watching this channel. You get the point. So if you want to make sure that you become famous, that's number 1. No branding. Don't work on your logo. I mean, logo is so boring. I mean, who needs a logo, right? It's not like it's going to change anything. You don't need a logo. You don't need to work on your visual identity. You don't need specific font. You don't need a color scheme, a color palette. You don't need all of that. Make sure that each and every time you post something, you have a different branding. That can be a nice trick also, because then people don't recognize you. And that's also one of the ways you can achieve unfame. Number 2, create a general channel with no specific purpose. So stay away from niching down. Just make sure you have a broad topic channel. Like one day you're gonna create a video about the apple you just ate. Then the next day you're gonna make a documentary about the history of puzzles. Then the next day, I don't know, you're gonna interview your grandmother. And the day after that, I don't know, you'll go to a fashion show and start doing crazy stuff. Make sure that people do not understand what your channel is about. One thing you don't want is people to actually relate and connect with you. You don't want people to feel like they have a connection. You don't want people to feel like they're part of a tribe with you. Because if you do that, then you're on your way to actually growing your channel. No, if you want to stay small, you want to shrink your influence, if you want to reach that fabulous unfame that we're all after, then make sure the topics are so broad that nobody understands why you created the channel in the first place, right? You want people to feel like, man, I don't understand why I'm even watching this. And that's when you're on your way to unfame. So you really need to work on that. And as soon as you see that there's a pattern, that you're making a few videos and those videos get traction and you start getting momentum, stop it immediately. Just move on to something completely different. Also, you could read in the comments what people, when they say they don't like something about the general topic, or on the opposite, they say they like something, you stay away from it. But if they say that they hate something, that's where you have an idea for your next piece of content that you're going to share with the rest of the world on your way to unfame. 3, vlog from day 1. There's something that not many people realize, but people don't care. I mean, if they don't know you, they don't care at all what you ate today, and that you went to Walmart, and that you went to visit your Aunt Louise or whatever. They don't care about that. And that, my friend, is a piece of gold. That's a gold mine, because if you start vlogging from day 1, so you have 0 sub and you announce to the world, I'm gonna start vlogging. Also, you should do something like, yeah, I'm gonna vlog every day. Even though nobody's watching, but still you should release that into the universe. I'm sure you heard of the law of attraction, right? So release that into the universe. And then I think your first vlog should be about you eating an apple, and then you should share that on Instagram, on Facebook, and all the networks. You should do it. So you should share it everywhere. Let the world know that even if they don't care, you're gonna just push some more vlogs because there aren't enough vlog videos here on YouTube of unfamous people. So if you want to work your way up to the fabulous Unfame, that's where you start. Make sure the vlog are really boring. You don't want to, I don't know, take them to something exciting. Like if you're going to an event with famous people, you don't want to do that, my friend. You don't want to do that. You know, you've been warned. So what you want to do, you want to go in a boring place, just put the camera and you just sit there and you be like that. Just stay there and then take the camera and start running around. And you know, it needs to be shaky. You need to get that vlog feeling. And don't forget also the music, the same track that everyone is using. You should do your research, get this track, and make sure it's in the vlog. If I was you, I would try to put it in each and every vlog, okay? And then start sharing your goals, your history. You could cry from time to time, you know, to make people just want to just close the video, you know. If they were interested, you know, that's gonna be the part where they probably gonna stop it. 4, beg for subs. Now, you should definitely beg for subs. Now, let's take a real world comparison so that you can understand better. Let's say that you go to a club or a party, whatever, and you find someone attractive. What should you do? What would you do? Of course, you just need to go get your knee down on the floor and ask that person to marry you. You've never seen that person before. He or she has never heard of you. But the first thing you should do is just go and, you know, beg them. You could also cry, like in the previous tip. You could do that also. Start crying and say how miserable you feel, and that if that person wants to marry you, then you'll be all happy and fluffy, and life is going to change. Now, of course, if you did that in real life, the other person will, you know, at the bare minimum, just say, okay, I might have to call 911, or the person would just walk away. And that's exactly what you want if you want to reach Unfame on YouTube, my friend. So, for example, you could go into the comments of other popular videos and just write sub for subs or something like, any small YouTuber want to help each other out? If you do that, first of all, you're probably going to get banned from that channel. The YouTubers, if he or she reads the comment, they're probably going to ban you. So that's the first win. Second, you're going to look pretty pathetic, and that's something you want if you want to reach Unfame. Many roads lead to Rome, and that's one of the roads. Now, going back about the fact that you're going to be banned, of course, you don't want to be banned from all channels because otherwise it's going to be a bit tough. Now, of course, if you do that on my channel, I will have to ban you, not because I'm like the other YouTubers, but just because I'm not going to let you reach Unfame on my own Unfame. But for the rest, just beg, right? That's going to show to the world how desperate you are. And that's going to take you to Unfame. Now, if you take any of these tips individually, it might not work, but if you combine all of these together, you're on the way to Unfame. And you'll thank me later, but as I said, I'm on a mission. I want to help you out. So make sure you write down those tips. Don't be like the other people that take my tips and they actually apply the opposite. I still haven't understood why people do that, but I know you're not like that. 5, spend no more than 2 minutes to create your thumbnails. Now, you've all heard Nick Niemann, Dane Niemann, Roberto Blake, Brian G. Johnson, Daryl Leaf, Tim Schmoyer, all those YouTubers, they tell you should spend some time on your thumbnails. And do you know why they tell you that? Because that's just because they want you to be famous. They don't want you to reach Unfame. But you know what you're here for. You know what you're watching this video for. You want Unfame. So trust me, take any picture, the crappier, the better. Just throw some text, some random text or a full paragraph, really tiny that nobody can read. Put that on your thumbnail. Make sure it has nothing to do with the topic you actually want to talk about, you know. You could also start clickbaiting, you know. What you want is people to be really angry when they click. By doing that, people are going to learn, okay, when that person posts a video, the thumbnail doesn't tell us what it's going to be about. And people will feel like, okay, they don't have enough time, so they don't want to waste the little amount of time they have to watch videos on YouTube. And they will completely ignore your videos. Once again, if you want to be infamous, you know what to do. 6, write anything in the title. Now you could write a whole paragraph to make sure it doesn't contain the keywords that you want to rank for. So you should just talk about some random stuff. Talk about, I don't know, what you ate yesterday, whatever. Make sure it's really long, the longer the better. Make some typos. Make sure it doesn't make people want to click. In the same note, make sure you don't write any tags. Make sure you don't write a description. I mean, who needs a description anyway? You should write something completely different from what you're talking about. So when you write your description, talk about the last movie you saw, whatever, but not about the video you're actually making. Now, even if you forget to do that, just make sure you don't forget to completely ruin the title, because that's going to be the most important piece of information for you to rank, combined with the thumbnails and the fact that people are going to click or not. You want your title to be really boring and long, and you want people, you want the first reaction of people to be meh, mission accomplished. 7, scream in the microphone, or make sure that there's some kind of annoying noise like a dog or some kind of loud animal, or it could be a neighbor screaming or a baby crying, whatever's going to make people jump on their seat, especially if they have earplugs. What you want is actually people to feel like, man, what is that? And then you start speaking slow again, so they think like, okay, maybe it was just a mistake. And when they least expect it, you scream, like it's the end of the world. Do that a few times and you're on your way to Unfame, my friend. 8, video quality. So make sure that the video quality is as crap as possible. Also, make sure that the background is really cluttered. Put a lot of different stuff in the background so that people are actually distracted. For example, if you can have a lot of moving stuff or people just coming in and out of the frame, that's going to help to stop people from actually watching. Don't forget, you want to annoy people. Maybe they were interested by the topic, but if they make it to that point that they're still interested by the broad topic that you're vlogging about, you eating an apple or whatever, if they didn't flee when you started screaming, they might flee if the image is so crap and there's a lot of people in and out of frame. You're really going to annoy them, and that's when they're going to click away. Or if they're on their phone, and most people will watch your video on the phone, they will swipe and then move on to the next video. And some poor famous guy or girl, gonna have to deal with them. But you will have reached your goal. You will be on your way to Unfame. So you know what to do. Like the problem today is like most phones are good enough to create great quality video. It's going to be worse if you take a dedicated camera for that, but even the most basic phone today has great quality. So you're going to have to look into the settings to really make it standard definition, or I don't know, 144p. If you get that option, you could just do that. Or otherwise, you can just put some dirt on the lens and make sure it's really dirty, and that can help out. 9, personality. Make sure that your channel has no personality whatsoever. So, for example, you could just watch one of the similar channels, listen to what people say, and then you completely recreate exactly the same thing. You don't put your own angle. Now, in some industries, like YouTube, for example, it's always the same advices, and that's for a reason. It's because it's been proven there's a path if you want to be famous, and there's a path if you want to be unfamous, and those two mix. So it's going to be the same thing. But what you should do is just repeat whatever you've heard. Even if you didn't check the facts, make sure you repeat it. Put no personality whatsoever, and that goes hand in hand with number 1, which was the branding. So you want no branding, but you don't want any personality. You just talk about something, and you have to try to be as boring as possible. That's going to be your number 1 goal when you do that. As soon as you put some personality in, so for example, let's say that you always repeat a specific sequence of words, and people start to know you for that. That's going to be like branding, but it also shows that you have personality, and you don't want that. Because if you have personality, some people will connect with you. Some people won't like you, but the thing is, the YouTube algorithm is a bit weird. So let's say, for example, that you have people who love you and people who hate you. People who love you will give you thumbs up. People who don't like you or maybe they hate you, they give you thumbs down and they start commenting, saying weird stuff about you. But for the algorithm, that's engagement, right? Of course, unless you're doing some really wrong stuff. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you're just being yourself and you're being nice to people and this is what you get. So the algorithm is going to see, that video's got some traction. A lot of people are engaging with the content. So let's push this content and let's let other people see that video. And you don't want that. So you need to be really boring, never have an opinion. Just make sure it's always like smooth. Like the best thing would be to be like monotone. So for example, you could be, okay, this is a video about 10 tips for YouTube. Number one, blah, blah, blah. Number two, blah, blah, blah. So that's gonna probably take you some work and some time. You're gonna need to practice, but it's like everything. At first, you're not gonna be good at it, but the more you practice, the better you will become. Now, one little trick that you could do is watch yourself in the mirror and start repeating, work on your monotone skills. Just be like, I release that into the universe and it's gonna come back. Law of attraction, my friend. 10. Sell a high ticket course from day one, even if you're not an expert. Actually, especially if you're not an expert. Because think about it, being an expert takes time and you don't have time. You want to reach Unfame as soon as possible, right? So for example, let's say you want to teach online marketing. All you have to do is type online marketing here on YouTube. You'll find plenty of people, but don't go for the people with a proven track record. What you should do is go with the people that you never heard of and that look really scammy. Okay, so pick those ones. Then the next step is you're going to download their free ebook. Okay, it's going to be something like 4 pages. You're just going to drop your email address so that you can get a lot of spam. And then read those 4 pages and bingo, you are a newly discovered expert. And with that knowledge, you can create your high ticket course. Now, what you could do is go on Fiverr and pay someone to actually do the course for you for $5. Maybe it's going to be a little bit more. And you're going to sell it for like 10K. I mean, you're going to try to sell it for 10K. So you're going to tell people how great it is and that initially the price was like $97,000. But you're in a good mood, so you're just going to shrink that. You're going to discount that. And instead of paying $97,000, they're only going to pay 10K, right? I mean, how great is it? Now, I know at this point you're scared because you want to say, okay, I want to reach Unfame, and you're telling me to go and sell a 10K course. What happens if people actually buy the course and start making money, right? Now, don't worry about that because it's going to sound and look so scammy that nobody's going to actually buy this course. And even better, people are going to not subscribe to your channel or unsubscribe, and they're going to tell other people about how scammy you are. So you can ensure that nobody's going to actually subscribe to your channel. And even if some people actually do subscribe, at one point they will learn that this was just a scam, so they will unsubscribe from your channel, and that's what you want, my friend. So thank you for watching the video until here. So these were my 10 tips to make sure that you fail miserably on YouTube. Now, once again, don't be like those people that take my advice, my tips and tricks, and they apply the exact opposite. I still don't know why they do that. If you know, let me know in the comments below, but I'm counting on you. I know you're not like that. So if you want more tips to know how to become famous, shrink your influence, and become a tiny YouTuber, make sure you subscribe. Now, I know it kind of defeats the purpose of being a tiny professional YouTube channel, Unfamous channel, but that's the only way to actually spread the good word about Unfamous Academy. And I have a little trick. So for each new subscriber to this channel, I create a hidden YouTube channel that nobody can find, and that channel stay at 0 sub. So that's my contribution to the worldwide Unfame. Approved by the president or the emperor or the king, depending on where you live, 100% guaranteed. So I'll see you in the next video. And oh yeah, I was about to forget. You can be Unfamous too.